Hello, welcome to the channel. Finally back to something decent. That right there is a Supernational kart ready to race in mine and Ollie's. There he is. Say hello.
Hello.
House 100 Championship belt events. So this is our newest class for next year. I'm a bit of a show don't tell sort of person, but if I'm going to tell you what it is, emulating the super class from back in the day. Like me and Ollie we always look at old magazines and you'll see pictures of the super class from the late 80s, early 90s. What differentiated it was, like with 100 Super, we've got 30mm slides, but these have to be homologated in Britain, British homologated carbs. And the chassis and the engines are basically sort of pre-92 era, so they look cool as that. So yeah, so let's take a closer look.
It's a TT36 Miami, and basically that's the last generation that's allowed to be used. They originally came out in 1989, but you'll notice with them the crankcases were slightly different, a bit more square. So this is the updated version. They did a extension to homologation basically, and they changed the crankcases, and later on they changed the barrel to an oval port, which is not allowed. That's 92. So this is a pre-92 engines is what we're allowed. On the chassis front, the last homologation we're allowing is 91 to 93. And yeah, that's it really. Right, that was a decent run on the tyre. I enjoyed it. It was nice to pass some road taxis. Yeah, I'm impressed with it. It's quicker than I expected. My last kart that I drove was a Wright pre-95. That was on a reed with 24mm carb, so that's kind of fresh in my mind. This is this is definitely off the bend. You feel it a lot more, much more grunt with that big carb, I think. But yeah, it felt good.
So the main reason for the video is we want to show everyone what these karts are like to look at, and we're testing the tyres as well on the Supernational. So we got Vega whites for the 100 Super, but we're going for a sort of a harder compound with the Supernational. We're targeting around 33 seconds at clay because that's where the championship belt is going to be for the Supernational, and they're going to be slightly harder, so it's not going to be such a rib crushing fest, and sort of we're aiming for the grip levels that they would have had roughly in the day, so we're just trying to get it as close as possible.
All we can do is just bring it the best we can to, you can never be 100%, can you, from exactly how it was in the day, For example, Supernational airboxes, initially they didn't run them, but towards the end they did. We have to run them now, so stuff like that. But when it came to the tyre, the decision was made really on the tyre is used in the UK in the Ricciardo series, which if you look at their karts, they don't run any caster out. They're not allowed to run caster camber adjustment, anything like that. The older karts have less of that on them, although they're adjustable. It's not like modern karting. So that was one of the reasons we thought the tyre would be good. And they're slightly rounder. I mean, the tyres back in the day were a little bit rounder. I mean, I know they're circular, but I'm talking about the shoulder. If you look at the reds, There's 10 psi in them at the minute, and there's 20 psi in these. I just pumped them up initially. I've got to drop these down. But you can see the construction's slightly different. So that's one of the reasons why we've gone with that. Yeah, pinnacle of British karting, early 90s, and pinnacle of late 90s international karting here. So hopefully it's the real deal.
And that's the main aim with this championship belt. We just want to give people the opportunity, and let's face it ourselves, because I'm planning to race in Supernational, a chance to race classes that we've always wanted to race. And like we said, nothing's really better, is it? As well as Ollie taking out the Supernational today, we've got 100 Superkart. So that's a Rotax DSEL. We've got an Ibea 30mm slide, and we've got Vega Whites. What else do you need to say, innit?
Proper karting.
Yeah, proper kart, it's the real deal. And this is the Formula Super A. This is what we've tried to emulate as closely as we can as possible. And it's the best kart class. Well, we've got two of the best kart classes that have ever existed, but they are the best kart classes that have ever existed. It's the pinnacle of the sport. Yes, I hope you enjoyed the video of some Supers action. 30mm slides, proper karts. Now we've got our calendar here. 16th and 17th of June. That's going to be Clay Pigeon Championship belt for Supernational. So that's the pre-92 stuff, British homologated carbs. 18th, 19th of August. That's Wilton Mill. That's for the 100 Supers. So if you can't get a kart, we'd love to see you come along anyway, because as we said earlier, it's not going to be long that we get to race these sort of karts as free as we can. So yes.
Yeah, we had good fun that last session as well.
Yeah, how's your back?
Not great, no. Getting in a kart 3 times a year or twice, 3 times a year is not conducive to being fit for it. Need to get in the gym more.
Yeah, well, hopefully we're going to book some test days in before these events.
Yeah.
For the House 100 crew to come and race and not race, to test and have a bit of a laugh. And
yeah, and then when there's people about and stuff, the learning curve is better as well. The bigger, steeper, and more fun. So yeah, it's a bit lonely really, because there's no one else here except modern
stuff,
which is really sad.
Yeah, need more of you out there. Right, thanks for watching, and